I'm Lando Cal. Glad to make your acquaintance.
Welcome back to the Lando Cal experience. We're back. Got the Oracle with me. Jules will be jumping on with us as well. But oh damn, I think it started recording late. Oh well. Anyway, welcome to the Lando Cal experience. Shout out to the Oracle who's with us.
What's up, man?
Jules will be joining us in a minute as well. But let's jump right on into these topics, man, that's been going on. What have you been watching, man? We talked about it a little bit, but go into a little bit what you've been watching right now.
Oh, so first off, what's up, everybody? As far as stuff I've been watching lately, still catching up my anime and stuff like this. So I'm finishing up this one anime that's on Hulu called The Fable, which is dope. You ever seen Barry like on HBO?
Yes. Yep.
So think of it as like an anime version of Barry. Like an anime version of Barry. So it's like this dude, he's like this cold assassin, like almost like just like top notch and feels second to none, like gets anything done, super athletic, all this stuff, but he's getting told that he has to lay low for about a year. And just like, hey, chill for a year. You and your sister, you and my sister, lay low for a year. Just live a normal life. And so the whole show is about him trying to live like a normal life as basically a civilian. You know what I'm saying? But he could tell he's kind of he doesn't have good people skills, but he's trying to get a job and trying to function around just in society in general, just as a normal everyday person. So him and his assistant, so you don't know him and his assistant's real name. You actually they get fake names. So you have to go by their fake names in the show. So which is Akira and Yoko, which is and they're supposed to be brother and sister in the show. Like that's how they playing it up. That's their roles, brother and sister. They're not really brother and sister, but that's the role they're playing for the year. And yeah, so that's really good. And then I'm watching I just got done watching this one anime on Netflix called Rising Impact. It's a golf anime. That's interesting because I never thought golf, like PGA golf, like an actual golf anime. And it's about like this little kid. He about like a third grader, somewhere around like 8-9 years old. Basically find out he's like a prodigy for the most part. He gets discovered by a pro golf player, and they try to basically help him become a professional golf player, like teaching him ropes. And he has like this amazing power drive. Like he's a driver. Like he can hit a ball like 300, like over 300 yards, and he's like 9 years old. Like he's just smacking and just flying the distance, like stuff like that. And so he's just trying to learn the game as he goes. Then he gets into this academy, which is for like golf prodigies, that's minus anyone under 18 that's a golf prodigy. So he's going in there, basically going to school and learning all the ropes there and trying to just hone his skills and be good, and then going to competitions and all this stuff. And it's real good. It's real good. So that's real cool. And then what else I've been watching? I was just telling you about right before we recorded. It's a show on also on Netflix. It's in the K-drama realm, but it's not in Korea. It's in Thailand. It's called Master of the House, and so it's like a drama / suspense. My wife actually got me into it. She was watching a little bit of it when I went out of town about a couple weekends ago, and I started catching up on some of it when I got back in town. We started rewatching some of it, and it's dope, man. So it's crazy because it's basically about like this billionaire in Thailand who owns like this diamond company. And so, he paid, you know what I'm saying? So, he mysteriously ends up dead. Like the first episode, beginning of the first episode, he just dies. He falls off the balcony in his house, breaks his neck. And, there goes Stefan right there. There we go.
What up, fellas?
What up, man?
Not a thing, dog. I apologize. Was running a little behind.
Oh, you good?
Oh, you all good. Jump on in, man.
I'm good. We was talking about shows we be watching and stuff like that. So I was telling about this one show on Netflix. That's basically an Asian drama / kind of suspense thriller called Master of the House, which is basically based about a billionaire who dies at the very beginning of the episode, and things surrounded around his murder, kind of like a whodunit kind of thing, but it's surrounded around his family and his maid for the most part. Like he has a whole bunch of like maids and butlers and servants and drivers and stuff like that. But he ended up falling in love with the main character who was a maid there, and they fell in love. They got married. But the thing about it is the family, like super entitled people, super entitled people, and it's really like mean, nasty people. They don't like her. And they don't like the fact that it was like, so who this low rank bottom chick that's married our daddy and all this other stuff, treating her wrong, and like I'm talking about all types of like at the funeral they try to pay her off and so like, hey, you can walk away, we'll give you 10 million to walk away. And it was like, nah, I'm good. It's like, okay, we're gonna drive you out in the countryside and just leave you in the countryside while it's raining and you just walk home. Like stuff like that, all types of cruel and unusual punishment. And then they show like what like they do to certain, like what the family does to the servants, all types of cruel and unusual punishment, that type of stuff. But it shows kind of like, you know, that whole dynamic, but it get real good as like time goes on, like how like it plays up. It's only like I think 7 episodes, like the whole story is 7 episodes, 7 1-hour episodes. But no, it's real dope. And what else I've been watching? What's the last thing? I've been watching this one anime, which all my anime heads I probably already hip on it, called Code Geass Rosetta the Recaptcha. And that's just it's a follow-up.
I am lost on that one, my boy. I have not got that one.
So I don't know if you ever heard the original
What
Code
is the name of this
Geass.
again? Like you lost me at like did you say Code Diaz?
Yeah, Code, like CODE.
Oh, no, they say Coke.
Yeah,
I thought he said Coke. I was like, oh,
I thought he said Coke.
No, Code, COD, like Konami Code. Code Geass, Geass. So they had an original.
That's a different show than my show that I came up with in my mind.
Man, I'm telling you, it was gonna be on the corner of Harlem somewhere.
Man, look,
that's a different show.
That'd be wild.
Yes,
That'd be
like a
wild.
real person. Like that's a real person.
No, that would be wild to have something about cocaine. That would be crazy. But no. It's just basically about it's a Gundam type show, so it's all about like revolution and stuff like that, and like liberating a country. Basically, it's a universe where what if North America and South America became one giant supercontinent, and they became an empire, and basically just took over the world, and basically they pretty much colonized every country and had every country under its control, and then Japan's the one country that's trying to fight back against the regime, basically. And it's all about like I said, revolution and a lot of wartime stuff. So like I said, it's like Gundam. It's a Gundam type show, but it's real good. So like I said, it's a sequel to the first show, which is called Lelouch of the Rebellion, but this is like a follow-up show. So if you ever want to watch it, it is on Hulu, or no, it might be actually be on Disney Plus because Hulu is owned by Disney. So it might be on there. But you can check that out. It's real dope though. So like I said, if you like stuff about like wartime stuff and revolution and stuff like that, it's real cool. And then they got like powers where like someone can control like what the other person does as like a one-time thing and like manipulate them to do whatever they want to do. Yeah, it's crazy. But now that's more or less about I've been watching. And then of course movie wise, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine, but we'll get into that later on. But that's some of what I've been watching. So I got more, but it's some of what I've been watching.
Right on.
All right, Steph, what you been watching, man? What you been kind of watching TV wise and movie wise? It's been kind of.
What have I been watching, man? This is gonna blow your mind. This is some crazy stuff I've been on. I've been on Bluey, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Like my 2-year-old has been flopping around all over the place, kid. I haven't been able to watch just about anything at all. I will take that back. I've been watching. I've been watching the anime Pluto on Netflix.
Nice. So, Astro Boy. That's Astro Boy.
Yes. It's definitely, it's like a dark version of Astro Boy. And I'm loving this whole approach. And I love the fact that it's not necessarily centered around that particular character. It's centered around the detective or whatever, who's also, spoiler, also a like an android itself. It's almost like it's giving me Blade Runner and Astro Boy kind of vibes.
That's a good analogy. That's a real good analogy, as a matter of fact.
So yeah, like it's that I've been all right. So for all the anime heads out there that you probably go hate me, I've been watching the anime of One Piece, like from episode 1, trying to make it through.
Hey,
Now, I
look,
know this is
I was telling James last episode that we did. My daughter started that too. She's like on season 5 now.
I'm on.
Like she get up every morning and watch like 2 or 3 episodes. Like she was watching before school was starting and everything. Like she just been on it.
Yeah, I feel like I need a pension after trying to catch up to the latest episode. That's
You're
work,
not gonna finish till you're 30.
No, for real, man. It's like because it started in like 98 or 99 and it's still going on now.
Yeah.
Like episodes are still coming out new now.
Yep. And I think what inspired me to start watching it again or start watching the actual anime, because I never watched the anime, is that I started watching. I watched the live action version of it. So I wanted to correlate the fact, like, what I wanted to see exactly how it looked, like if it matched up, and it's fairly close. It's fairly close. I think the casting on the live action is actually really, really good compared to the characters that we see online. See on the actual animated series. Let's see, what else have I been watching? I haven't really been watching too many like shows. Really, I haven't really been watching any shows, honestly, besides those, and then catching back up on My Hero Academia. Other than that, I haven't really been caught. Well, I take that back. So I rewatched PeaceMaker. Sorry.
Oh wow, okay.
Rewatched PeaceMaker only because it kept popping up on my feed on Max, and I was like, yeah, why not? It was a really good series, and I had fun watching it. And also because of the conversations that we all been having via text about James Gunn and seeing the stuff that he's been doing with DC, I really want to appreciate what James Gunn is doing. So I had to rewatch some of his old work to kind of just revitalize myself in that whole thing. I know Jules had made a statement about Guardians 3, and I just watched that like the other night. And personally, and this, I know we're not on this topic at all, but personally, I think the movie felt kind of rushed, almost like I'm out the door. Kind of vibe. I got the same feeling from Spider-Man 3. Not saying that those are the exact same movies. Not saying that it's the same quality, because Guardians 3 was it's better quality all the way around. But it's got a vibe that it was just like, let's do everything. Let's do everything we want to do, and then that's it. Kind of vibe from that movie. But other than that, that's what I've been on. And Supercell, sorry. And also Supercell.
Dude, that's what I've been watching. I was just telling James, Supercell, I'm telling y'all, it may be the best TV show I've seen in the last 5 years, for real. Like, and that's not trying to gas it up.
Yeah.
It's that good of a in-depth story. Like, this origin story setup has me in, like, what we finna do now?
Yeah.
Like, did you finish this, Stefan?
I did finish it, yeah.
Dude, like, the way they play out everything, you're like, oh, this is a whole, like, and it was funny. Me and Teddy went to see Wolverine Deadpool right before, like, earlier today. He's like, is there any movie franchise that can be created now? And I was telling him he hasn't watched like Supercell, dude. They have a setup now. What they set up with that groundwork, it can go literally 7 different places.
Yep.
You could do prequels.
Yep.
You could do side things.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way that the world opened up, it's like,
yeah, they could legit do each season can be based off of each character,
and literally just living that character's life.
Yep,
and you'd be fine with it.
Yep. Yeah, no,
and then you could even deeper of like, okay, are they doing this in the U.S. too? Are they doing this in Canada? Are they doing this in Mexico, Africa? And I'm saying you could even stretch it out like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
because we're only getting it from the British standpoint in this show so far.
I would say initially when I first started watching the series, I immediately got Heroes vibe,
100%.
The Black Heroes, and I almost typecast it as such. But I kept watching it, and I was like, "No, this is completely different. This is something."
Yeah, because the whole idea is more for the culture. We have this power in us that we haven't tapped into as Black people. Like that's the higher message overall, and that's not spoiling nothing for nobody, But that's the message that we have this power inside of that we all, because everyone can't tap into it. So like, and the ill thing about it, James, is like you only get the power, or your power only rejuvenates. First, you have to have a sickle cell trait, not full sickle cell. You have to have the trait. So one of your parents have to have had sickle cell. or both of your parents had the trait, and then etc. Like how that flows, and it only happens from intense situations, or if you come in contact with someone else who's already identified their power.
So it's kind of like X-Men, but it's kind of like the mutant gene in X-Men, all based in.
So like if I bump to him and he already is identifying, able to control his power, and I bump into him or have a situation with him, it would get his power going.
Okay, so it's like a catalyst, basically. It needs like a catalyst situation.
Like think about somebody teach you something in a regular world. Someone teaches you something and puts you on game with something that shows you a power of like, hey, how to DJ or how to produce. Now your power is unlocked because you associate and got with this other person.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what you mean.
It's almost in an osmosis state.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Or an extreme situation where like you're put in a situation where you got to do something. That's the two ways you get your powers to interact.
Gotcha. But it has to be but it has to be a catalyst there, basically, regardless. So
either one of those.
Well, so it's interesting you say that, D, because that kind of reminds me of like the initial line that they was talking about in the first Deadpool movie, like how people were able to get their ability, they had to put them through certain stress in order to actually unlock it. And essentially it's the exact same thing with this. They have to be put in a situation where they need to be able to do it. And it happens like breathing. You don't necessarily think about it, it just happens. And it catches them off guard, much like the lead character. Yeah.
And then he only gets his powers interactive from dealing with another character that has powers.
Yep.
And then I didn't even trip off of it. But did you realize that Andre didn't get his powers until he interacted with old girl that was a nurse?
Yep. Yeah.
Like by saving her life because she was bugging out because her powers interacted, and his powers only started when he grabbed her from just walking out in the street.
Yeah. I will say this, though. You know the acting is good when you get annoyed by certain characters.
Yes.
That's a good trait. That's
bro. Like it was like the first or second episode, like old girl's sister. That was just
but
she was like the most authentic rendition of anybody in your like within your community, bro. Like she was spot on, but so annoying.
And even though low-key, the little hood kid too.
Yeah.
Like, what would you do if you was in a gang and you got powers? Yep. You would use it to further your gang.
Absolutely.
And you ain't gonna keep it secret. The crew gonna know we got these powers. Let's do it. Because at first, oh man, people kind of flipping telling powers out. But in real life, you would tell your closest homeboy if we in this situation again, hey man, I got super speed. Let's up this drug empire we got. Like,
absolutely.
With Supacell, y'all,
like that, man.
Yeah, it's practical of like what you would do if you got superpowers. But some of them are just freaking out, obviously, and tripping out. Some people like, I got this, and I can control it now. Watch me work.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I might have to definitely finish that off.
Have y'all been watching The Boys? Did you guys watch The Boys for this?
Oh yeah. I don't
know how I forgot that.
What y'all think about this season of The Boys overall? Let's review that as we get ready to go wrap into some bigger stuff.
Okay. Let Steph handle it first.
I have no words, bro. That show, it's firing on all cylinders. I think their approach to their version of the characters is actually really, really refreshing. It's actually really good. They did a lot of gender bending. I don't know if anybody read any of the comic books at all, but most of the characters were male. So I forgot the chick's name, but the one that can explode people's heads.
Yeah, Victoria Newman.
Yeah, Victoria. Right? It's actually Victor, I think. There's a couple.
Also, that character was a male character in the comics.
Right. Yeah.
That character, Victoria Newman's character, was a man in the comics.
Yeah, it was a man in the comics. Yeah. So Victoria's a man. Stormfront was actually a man, and
Madeline Stillwell supposed to be James Stillwell.
Yeah, supposed to be James Stillwell. So they did a lot of gender bending, which I'm okay with. But I just overall, man, it's probably one of the most anticipated shows on my end. I'm waiting on it to come back on because I need to see what's gonna happen. I wish they would have did I wish they would have tapped into Mother's Milk's ability, because he actually has an ability. He actually has like he's actually a I forgot what they call him, a soup. Yeah, he's actually a soup. And the backstory behind that is that, and the reason why they call him Mother's Milk, which I don't know if any of you all know or anybody's watching.
I know.
But for those who don't know, Mother's Milk, he got his name from the fact that he was breastfed by his mother for so long, and he continued to breastfeed off his mother. She took some compound V, I think, when she was pregnant with him. And she started breastfeeding, and it gave him like hyper intelligence and super strength, I believe is what it was. So yeah,
okay.
So I kind of hope they tap into that, but also, but even with that, even with them not doing it, I kind of like the fact that he is very human. I like that he's very human because it just shows the level of tenacity that he has, trying to keep this team together, trying to lead them, between trying to keep them together when Butcher out here doing the most. I think I like this approach, but I do hope that they give him a little glimpse of just, for him just to kind of flip out on somebody, like maybe.
So yeah, he's black in the comic too. I see.
Yeah, he's black in the comic. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm all about it.
What about you, James? What do you think so far about the boys, man?
I'm gonna agree with Steph, man. Like to piggyback on what he's saying, like with Mother's Milk, man. That's pretty much my favorite character in the whole series, because he's pretty much just like in the comic, he's the voice of reason character. So he's that's his whole shtick. Like he is supposed to be the black voice of reason. Like, hey man, what y'all doing? Like, hey, let's think about this in a in the most rational way possible. And I do know to piggyback more what Steph said, like with people in the boys, like technically everyone in the boys is supposed to be like Kimiko. Technically, that's how they, because everyone in the boys comic is pretty much the same as Kimiko, but now the only soup technically is Kimiko and Starlight, and technically Butcher. But it's I will get more. It'll get more into that, like if you watch it. But nah, man, it's wild, like how the story's set up, because of course shock value galore, especially dealing with Tech Knight, which yeah, I'm just gonna put that out there. Like, yeah, that was something. But I do know about Tech Knight's character, and Tech Knight is basically like, what if Tony Stark was like an extreme sexual deviant, like he couldn't stop.
And Batman too.
Yeah, he's like Batman and Tony and Iron Man, but what if he was like extreme sexual deviant, where he had like, it was like uncontrollable, like anything that's a whole, whether it's organic or inorganic, he want to screw it, no matter what it is. And so that's kind of like his whole shtick, you know what I'm saying, which is crazy. But no, man, like how they played up everything was real good. Homelander is in his full psychopath bag at this point. Sister Sage, yeah, I was like, okay, what? I was like, yeah, she gonna destroy some stuff from the inside out, man. Like I can see that being a possibility, just because once you get into her backstory, like how she explained her backstory, it's like, yeah, if you're the smartest person in the world, period, like highest IQ, like on some Reed Richards type stuff, then yeah, like I could see you doing you flipping out on like a diabolical end to like destroy like the company from the inside. But no, I mean, other than that, man, the show's still great, man. It's just. It is the shock value. It's shock value. I don't think anything for me for real tops the beginning of season 2 with the explosion. That explosion. Yeah, that was probably the wildest moment in the whole show. But yeah, it's still real good though, regardless, man. I just want to see. I mean, Homelander is just gonna. Oh yeah, I can't give much more without spoiling it. So I was just like, anyone who hasn't seen it yet, just watch the whole thing. You'll kind of see why I'm saying why we're saying what we're saying. So I'll put it like that.
All right, let's get into the DCEU. It's been kicking back up. Superman is supposed to be coming out. James Gunn right on time. Here he is, right on time. We just going to
there he is. There he is.
As soon as you said the DCEU, Here he comes.
Hey, can you hear?
Right,
That
it's
was
just
the
like
best
summon
signal.
him, man. Like he got summoned instantaneously.
You threw the hat in the air and he come right in. Man.
Bam.
Fellas, what's good? What's good? What's good? I'm here. What's
So,
poppin'?
all right, well, Jules, I mean, you know, the DCU has not been the best of places in general. Oh,
Nah.
before we get started, do you, as you come in the door, you said you had some rebuttals to me and James's thoughts on Rebel Moon?
I mean, because I feel like you was throwing me under the bus after we had our conversation. Side, group chat, barber chair talk,
I
But
said it was hard. I said everything I said to you.
but I said to you, I wasn't happy either. Like, yeah, you made it look
Right,
like I was.
but you are our Zack Snyder apologist though, so I had to do it.
Of course, and it's funny too because I fly out Friday to go to LA to go to see the director's cut of Rebel Moon 1 and 2. But you sitting in there with Zach, and he's gonna do Q&A. So I'm pretty high. Hey, yo, that's the real G right here, dog.
Yeah, that's what's up though. Hey, that's dope though.
I gotta do it, man.
So
I had to do it.
you had a rebuttal for me and James's a review of Rebel Moon.
I mean, not really so much, man. I understand where everybody was just like not feeling it. It was a certain. I feel like it was thrown together almost. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a Zach fan, but I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't feel like he should have did it. I don't think it was something that should have been done. I think he should have went and finished even Army of the Dead or whatever that was, and that little thing, and just finish everything else, man. If you had to do it in a comic book version, do that too. My thing is don't start another universe. We still stuck on one. You got too many hashtags still, you know what I mean, lingering and unanswered questions. And then the fact that we got the theatrical releases of Justice League before what? I'm just like, what are we doing it for? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna move on. We gotta move on. We gotta dead it. Like, I'm not even saying it in a bad way. Like, it never seen theater, his version, but I'm just like, what's it for? Like, what are y'all planning on doing? What's happening? You know, I think it's just been too many years to sit here and still try to pull that one. You know what I mean? They had a little something back in I think towards the end of last year or even the beginning of this year where people went and sat and watched you buy tickets and you get to see the 3 movies back to back in the theater.
Yeah.
Or no, back to back nights.
Mm-hmm.
Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and then of course his version. But that was like in 2 theaters or something like that you can do that. So I don't know what they're doing it for. I just feel like what you're gonna bring it back for. Let's move forward. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of the gun look, but hey, I'm here. Hey, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see what happens. But yeah, that's it.
Well, what you gotta say to that, D?
So, hey, it is what it is with Zack Snyder, man.
You know I'm a fan. It's just I can't no more, man. We talked about this too, D. Listen, I'll keep it real. I won't say, but it's just I just feel like it was an unnecessary move. You know what I'm saying? You get this money, and they spend money on Rebel Moon. I watched the whole after, me. I'm curious. I wanted to see. They invested a lot into that, into the set design and into it was like you got Gil Del Toro. Remember him? Who did Hellboy? I feel like they were like that on this. You know what I mean? So, man, like, come on. Dang. Unnecessary, man. They had it looked like it could have been something dope. So, the director's cut come out Friday, this Friday. So I'm going to see what's that about when I go out there and check it out. They're going to do it at the Egyptian Theater, too, in Hollywood. So it'll be fun.
Keep us up to date about what that director's cut looks like. Because
I'm trying to get some questions out there, too.
Why we're doing a director's cut for it.
And he explained that, though. If you watch the making of Rebel Moon and all that, he explained that kind of like, that the deal was that he was able to go all out and do his direct, but I don't think it's necessary. The movie didn't feel like it felt flat to me. You know what I'm saying? It's enjoyable, but when you put his name on top, if it was somebody else did it, I would have been like, that's cool. But you know what I mean? You got too much good stuff coming out, and then to sit here and just give us that is like,
Well, let me ask you this: if we didn't have other genres already created in that same vibe, like we didn't have the Star Wars,
we
didn't have What's something else that's similar to that? Like
Dune.
a Star Trek or something
like
like that.
like Dune or something like Star Trek.
Yeah,
Dune.
like Dune
like
and
Dune,
stuff like
Star
that. If
Trek.
we didn't already have a well, in essence, say the Star Wars universe, because that's the most prominent out of all of them. Dune is fairly fresh, although the novel, the novel had been out for years, but no one really associated with it. Wasn't nobody looking at Star Wars and being like, no, nigga, that's Dune.
Yeah.
But like, so to say that, like, if we didn't have like the Star Wars universe already implanted into our lives, do you think that Rebel Moon would have felt differently if it came out now? Or let's do this one better.
I know what you're
If
saying.
Dune didn't come out until after Rebel Moon came out, would you feel differently about it?
No. I think it's just I'm keeping 100. I think it's like, I think to put the hypeness that they put behind Rebel Moon, like we had a trailer for a year prior to the film.
That's true.
It was you're doing too much to give us mediocre. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what killed it for people. So it was like me sitting there watching Jupiter Ascending, and it's not even to say like because of Star Wars, because of those major films that held it down, because it's not that many when you really count Dune, Star Wars. When you really look at like theatrical releases of a universe like that, there's not that many even that survive in trying to go that route. Jupiter Ascending being one of them. Even in a lot of ways there's a few. So when you think about it, it's like it was just mediocre, man. Like I get it. You could have put that out there in a series or something and just been like, yo, here you go. Let's do this. But you made it like feature film coming.
Yeah.
It felt flat, man. I seen better graphics on some other stuff, man. That was less money. So
I think that's a level of arrogance, though. I think that hits a lot of directors, that arrogance thing. Like, no, this is gonna be theatrical. We dropping this, whether it's gonna be Netflix or theaters. It's dropping, and
you got
in
followers.
reality, to your point, it could have just been a series. It could have been a really dope series.
D, did I not say that? D, did I not say that last episode?
Yep.
You did.
But I've been saying that for a long time, keeping it 100, even when I defended him in so many ways. I've been saying a lot of his stuff should just go series. You need to get out the mindset, we got to blockbuster this. 300 was a long time ago. Let that rock, You know what I'm saying? Man of Steel was a long time. Let it rock. I think at this place in time, man, it's just take your stuff to small screen, man.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get a better response, man, without that weight on your shoulders of having to be the universe, the MCU type. It's just done deal.
But even with the series, you can still build a universe more effectively.
But you can build a universe with much more intricacy.
Yeah,
like that is the key. And I think, like, oh, come on, watch Echo. Echo was deep in a certain way, and of course, it was a series. So when you get that series vibe, you getting a lot more into that you can pull from it. But not with Rebel Moon. Just I'm like, I could have seen a lot more of your man Jackson and all these dudes that was in it. And I'm just like, man, they crushed it doing that, man.
Yeah,
it was kind of whack, but what can you do?
To your point about the series, it's just like what Matt Reeves is doing with the Penguin. Like, I seen that trailer and that was fantastic. I was like, oh, this is ill. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'm like, it's like, that's how you probably expand like an ongoing.
We just had to get Zack Snyder up out of here for things to get right in the DCEU. That's the thing. We had to get Zack
into the DCU.
Yeah.
Are they letting them back in? Because I don't know.
I mean, I thought that died after Zack. I thought that died after his version of the Justice League. Honestly,
he was claiming that they want him to come back. That's not true. It's no way.
No. Well, I think they was trying to talk about doing a series with the 300 some way, somehow, which is fine. You can still rock with Warner Brothers, whoever. A lot of your properties are all under there. So at the end of the day, but the problem is you're trying to let's not try to do the big thing no more. Let's just go deep into your stories like you want to and give us some longevity with it, man. Stop making it like, I think the film, the Rebel Moon film was just pushed together in such a way like we got to make this epic. It fell short. Definitely wasn't epic to me. It just didn't feel, and maybe because I'm like waiting for him to finish something. We talked about this, D. Finish your projects, man, that are just left in limbo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here like, come on, B, you want me to jump into this one and come on, I don't even. This is why Christopher Nolan don't do a whole bunch of you know what I'm saying? Come on, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to see that, man. You don't want to see that in that way. And you know, like because you mentioned a couple things, but when you think about it, James Gunn, and you give me Suicide Squad 2, I'm not like a fan, but I will watch the movie anytime it come on. It's that appealing, but at the same time, you gave me Peacemaker, and that was just a whole in-depth series that I felt like, yo, that's what I'm talking about. And I love that series. I felt like, yo, he got to really go in on it. Give me everything about it that I needed to know. Like I you know, the whole thing with his pops, the whole thing. You know, that was deep. That was deep. So if you can't do that, man, I think Zach is too deep to just try to push things together and keep it moving. Like you trying to do a whole universe, but I don't know. Finish the ones that you started in whatever way you have to.
Like everything can't be Watchmen, because Watchmen to me is still my favorite movie.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
like if you really look at Watchmen was one of like, and we didn't even get nothing else after that. Like the only thing we got was just a Watchmen directors. I don't know, but it you know, you just sometimes you just gotta let it go, man. You know, but it did close it out. It's just not like it. You know, it had a beginning to an end. It was deep. It was real deep.
I would like to see a Rorschach series.
Man, I would love that.
Man,
I would like to see a Rorschach series. I think that'd be dope. Or maybe a Mr. Manhattan series.
Yeah,
it's kind of just focused about hey, maybe his past life
before he got out. Get that right with the Watchmen series with Regina King in it. I mean, they kind of
that was fire. Yeah,
did a good wrap up with that with all these characters, kind of.
Yeah, was that tied into that world? No, right?
But it's tied into like the original. But the original comic story, not the movie though. So because like as you know, in the movie, like it's two different versions. So basically, in the movie, the movie and the comic is pretty much like almost a 1-to-1. It's just like the one main difference is just like how Ozymandias' plane went down. So in the comic, it was what we saw in the Watchmen TV series, which was like he made like this giant monster, like giant like kaiju sized squid that had like telekinetic powers that like messed up. I think it was New York City or something like that. Like that's how that went down. He was like in the movie it was it was Dr. Manhattan basically blowing crap up just everywhere, every which way, and that's what caused like Human United. But it's the same effect happening. It's just but no, I'll say this. I read some. I forgot how long ago this was, but Alan Moore does not like the TV series. He does not like that.
For real?
No. He does not like the TV series. He was like, he said the story is a story. Let that be it. Like, don't worry about adding anything else to it. Like, let that story be that story. Essentially, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow. Man.
Damn. Okay. Damn. I just did not know that.
Yeah.
So you feeling good about the DCU now? You guys feeling good about the direction of DCU going forward here with James Gunn? Or we just need to wait and see.
Yeah, wait and see. Like
listen, I watched that. The logo reveal again a couple times, man. I'm not knocking the logo. The time era that it feels like it sits in, you know, it's definitely dope in that sense. But I just think for me, I feel like what Gunn does is try to erase whatever Zach did prior. So I just feel like you got two brothers who had opportunities to work on the productions, man, and I just feel like Gunn really just tries to sweep that stuff out of here, but hey,
to be fair though, you got to think about, you got a whole community that is all about Zach, the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
And it's still hanging
a little crazy. It could be a little crazy. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah. So me being James Gunn coming in, and I'm like, hey guys, I got this amazing idea. Is it the Snyderverse?
Yeah.
No, it's not. But I don't think.
Are you gonna bring back Zach? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You gonna bring back Zach? Because that's what was happening. A lot of people were inquiring about bringing him back.
Like, I got the keys though. I got the keys to the kingdom. I got the whole. I'm driving. Yeah, but we want to go to McDonald's. Well, we going to Burger King, McDonald's, yo.
Hey, yeah.
You know, that's exactly how it went. That's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
So I understand him trying to strong arm and really put his own twist on it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm down with the period pieces that he's doing.
Yeah.
With the characters. I really feel like DC has missed the mark where they missed the opportunity to really give us what we all deserve to have, which is a Batman Beyond movie where there's an animated to live action.
Yeah.
They really DC has fumbled the ball so many times.
Yeah.
Batgirl, that could have just been a really dope. They could have not wrote it off. They could have just made it into a series, a limited series.
Yeah.
Boom.
And I know they got to be kicking themselves in the ass. Like real talk.
Yeah.
You think about the directors they shut down with that one, and then they do Bad Boys. The last two projects, and look where those films are at. Like they're doing good. Like they got vision. Let them rock. But,
but they don't know how to get out of their own way. That's the problem.
They don't. I think they looking at a certain like, that Avengers had that lot. Daryl used to say this all the time. They trying to chase that, but it in truth, they done fumble so much in chasing that kind of level of profiting. Like I get it, it's business. You want to make your money, but I also do feel like quality over quantity. You know what I'm saying? You can get good quality. Watchmen is like one of the best, like low key. So you know what I mean? I don't know. I think they passed that point, but hopefully they won't change up. What they got with the Batman or what they got with the keep doing the Joker, of course. Looks like real interesting. So hopefully that doesn't change and that you get still some of that more mature content for us or whatever the case is.
Are we still getting Matt Reeves' second Batman film?
Yeah, but they just saying like not way down the road, but it ain't in stone yet. You know what I mean?
That's a disservice. That does a disservice to all the people who really enjoyed that film. This hype up for the universe you're building. You got the Penguin coming out. That's added on to this universe that you've created. And then you got people on the back burner waiting on the second Batman film. That does not feel like consumer focused. and
you lose the momentum because you got Joker 2019, the new Joker's 25, whatever. That's too far apart. Like these dudes are getting old and you can see it in their skin. Like, stop doing that. Tron did that 30-year gap. Just let them be the only ones on this. We doing too much with that. Do your back-to-backs, man. Get your little
that's real. That's real.
You know what I'm saying? That's why Michael Bay crushed it and he could fall back and do nothing because he did back-to-back Transformers even when you didn't know it was coming. 2007, 2009, 2011, it kept hitting you. Like, 2014.
I mean, what Richard Donner did back in the day with Superman 1 and 2. They filmed those at the exact same time.
Come on. Lord of the Rings, same thing. Like,
same thing, right?
Lord of the Rings was like year back to back, right? It wasn't even
about a year or so back to back. Yeah, it was like every year it was a new Lord of the Rings.
You gotta give us that, man. You gotta give us that. I think we deserve that. We live in a time where they not filming as slow as they used to film. You know what I'm saying? Keep it 100. That ain't that much. Practical effects versus the quick CGI you can put out. And of course, we've seen the fall of CGI a little bit too with some of the films being pushed too fast. But come on, you could do some more realistic stuff. Look at Supercell and look at even like you got Joker and all that. That doesn't take too much. You know what I mean? CGI on that level. So
Supercell in that sense is more. I wouldn't say it's probably better than anything I've seen theatrical, but it's better than some of the other series I've seen that's done CGI. Hell, Superman and Lois has some amazing. That's my favorite.
Motion for real.
Yo, let me tell you something. I slept on that, and I know I told y'all this. I slept on that for a long time. It took me.
I told you to watch that, man. I told you to watch that.
I seen how goofy he came in on Supergirl. I was like, oh no, y'all go get me. Two for spooking out. I was like, you gotta get right. But that show is so good. Like
for real. But you know what? Another thing, man, kind of stick on the DC side, like that's why I've always kind of held the notion, held my opinion, which is I'll stick to the anime stuff, man, because like I've been watching a lot of the Tomorrowverse stuff. Like I forgot to mention this. Bob watched Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 and 2 because they're both on Max now, and I've been watching that, and though it's fire because it is the Crisis of Infinite Earth story. It's splitting up. Like I think it's gonna be I think the third part is coming out.
The third one's coming out soon.
The third one's coming out soon, and like the way they constructed the whole universe after the DCAU went and did what did, which to me that's still like the best run of like comic stuff like I've seen in a long time. And so the way they did this Tomorrowverse stuff is it works, and it's dope how the way they got that set up.
Mm.
And it's like, oh, and it's telling a cohesive story. It's in depth. You getting everything.
Yeah.
Like they now introducing the aiming monitor finally for the first in the story now. So I'm like, okay, now we're starting to see the ball rolling on a lot of things, and I like that. And like I say, they are sticking to more or less the comic story, just in a more modernized setting. So I was like, okay, I was like, no, this is dope the way they playing this out, man. So, and that's it's just my thing, like how Steph said earlier about a Batman Beyond movie. Like, we had Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, and that was amazing back in the day. That was amazing the way they played that up back in the day. And so it's like, that's why I said, to me personally, and then you got like comedy stuff like Harley Quinn, and now the Kite Man show that just came out. And like, if you like Venture Brothers, that's right up my alley, because I love Venture Brothers. So it's right up my alley with it. So they got different kind of stuff, like what kind of feel you want to go. Do you want a serious feel, or do you want something that's comedic and lighthearted and it's kind of funny? So but they know exactly kind of keep that balance with the live action. It's just like, yeah, it's some hit and misses, but I mean, if I had to say, at this point, it'd be a good segue. But if we're gonna talk about another company, the rival company, MCU, is like, oh man, I don't know, man. Like, I think y'all ran out. I think y'all running on fumes at this point, man. Because it's like,
we might as well, make the segue. So now, they have come out with Dr. Doom being, it's not Tony Stark, right? It's just going to be Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom, right?
So the idea, from what I'm assuming, and based off of what they've been talking about online and some of these different vlogs or whatever the case is, so it's going to be Victor Von Doom. They're going to play off of one of the comic books in which this is a universe where Tony is the roommate of Victor Von Doom in college. Victor is jealous of his success, and he does like a mind swap with Tony, and so now he inhabits Tony's body and inherited all of his riches and fame, this and the third, and in his quest to still fulfill his main destiny, which is whatever Dr. Doom is trying to do at that point. So I'm okay. I guess I'm okay with that. I still feel that we could have just gotten a completely different actor to play the role. I understand business wise why they did it, because it is a cash grab. Yeah. And Robert Downey, everybody wanted to see him come back. But it's still but it doesn't really sit well with me, because of the fact that I know that there's many other actors that could have fulfilled that role. Where
I still don't care. Nobody says Denzel Washington playing Dr. Doom.
He forever stick with that, man. He forever gonna stick with that.
Absolutely. He could have definitely played it.
Think about Queens. Denzel Washington. No, he's from the Bronx, right? Jules, or is he from Queens?
Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon version of Dr. Doom. Yo. Money making Mount Vernon.
Hey. No, real talk. Hey, man, that's man.
It could have been anybody. Giancarlo would have been good. I know he's playing Sidewinder in the new Captain America joint, but he would have been good. I would have been feel real dope. Like I like Doom would be dope for a race swap, to be honest with you. Like Chiwetel Ejiofor would have been a dope potential Doom as well. Because remember how dope he was in with Firefly? Yeah. Is the villain?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, Serenity. But it was Firefly, the TV show when they made the movie Firefly, Yeah, but he was dope in that. Like, I just think it's lazy, man. I think it's real lazy to pick Robert Downey Jr. play Doom. It's like super lazy.
Yeah. It's so many good people, man. I mean, you can, again, I've said this a million times, man. Like, Dr. Doom is my favorite villain. And so, like I said, if you're going to do Doom right, he's only been done right one time, and that was animated. And that was the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and that was the perfect version of Dr. Doom. I have not seen a Doom yet who has matched that, like, period. I just haven't. And, Dr. Doom is the kind of person where if you're going to replace like a Thanos level villain, it has to be him, but it has to be done almost just as good, if not better, than how Thanos was done, like in the MCU. Like it has to be on that same. Like it can't be less than that because for real, like if you're going to do that, because the way Dr. Doom runs, like he is just as big as a threat as Thanos, if not more, considering like if you know his comic background. So it's like, no, you have to do him correctly. Like if you do not, then really it's gonna fall off. And like you said, like RDJ, I mean, God bless him, I mean, and he perfect Iron Man, but it's just like,
yeah,
it's like you like everyone said earlier, man. Like Steph said, like so many other people could have played him, and you could have got like, ooh man, I mean, especially since they're doing the Fantastic Four joint. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm surprised they just not introduce him in the Fantastic Four joint. It's just like because that's part of the story of him and Reed being roommate.
But I'm cool with that. I'm cool with the introducing him in there. Give me Mole Man or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm cool. Just get away from Doom. Let Doom be a bigger character than a part of the Fantastic. He's bigger than the Fantastic Four, to be honest. And y'all know how I feel about Fantastic Four. I feel like they're whack in general, as a record staff, a label, all that stuff. They basically the Incredibles, y'all. They're some of the wackest powers. They're a whack crew, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I know the only reason people mess with it, he is DMX on your track. That's Dr. Doom. Nobody would care about a Fantastic Four if Dr. Doom was not around.
Ain't nobody cared about Fantastic Four when Silver Surfer was on there. It's like, yo, we following Lawrence Fishburne all the way.
Character.
That's true.
Hey, nobody cared about.
The Fantastic Four is Benzino and the Made Men and Armani RSO and other people that's getting on their tracks. That's the only reason you want to listen.
But you know what? Without the Fantastic Four, we
Young
wouldn't have
MC.
Galactus, we wouldn't have Silver Surfer, we wouldn't have Dr. Doom, we wouldn't have Black Panther. You know,
And Reed Richards on his own, when he started going dark and doing his thing on that, that's cool. But I'm talking about the core Fantastic Four was whack.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry.
I mean, you got to think about the period.
It doesn't
time,
work
though,
for this era. It doesn't work for the era they try to do the film for. It never really fit. It always felt just.
I will give them credit. They're doing it in the '60s, so that may give it a different.
But that's the era it's going to work in. It's going to work for a lot of throwback people. Like, oh my God, I remember when I used to read it. That's really going to work for that. But it's not going to work for this generation, the last generation. Just not.
No, but Jules, the movie's being set in the '60s.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and because it's set in the '60s, that's going to gravitate to a lot of people who grew up in them '60s, '50s, and was, oh man, that's what I'm saying on that level. But the generations now just don't click with the Fantastic Four because you gave it two different styles, and nobody really rocked with it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so I think that raises a good point. I think that's the reason why they're going with that particular storyline of Tony and Victor being roommates because of the fact that they have the Fantastic Four set in the '60s. In this futuristic 60s universe. So that makes sense. But again, to your point, I would appreciate for them to have made Doom a standalone character that doesn't have any ties with anybody else really. That's what was the name of his country? It was like
Latveria.
Yeah, Latveria. So even if they talked about that, because even if they what was that God, what was the country that they had fought in Avengers 2?
Sokovia.
Sokovia.
Even if they just made him from Sokovia. They made him from Sokovia and he's been fighting to rebuild his shit, and that's the reason why he don't like the Avengers.
But you know what? That even kind of falls. That's the kind of falls flat in a sense because Zemo already pretty much took care of the whole situation.
Yeah,
that was before the Zemo. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. So that's the only thing that's kind of fall flat. I get what you're saying though. I mean, you 100%. I mean, I get exactly where you're coming from. But that'll be the only kind of fall points. Like, well, I mean, Zemo. So.
Yeah, but I just feel like I just really wish they had made him more underlining, maybe added little hints of him.
Yeah.
Moving forward to let us know that he is coming. I think the MCU. I think you not D, but James, you made the statement earlier that the MCU was kind of falling off a bit, and I think a lot of that is because of their story choices.
And oversaturation, man, to an extent, because it's like y'all doing too much, man. It's like like I think this is what Jules said earlier. Quality, it's like you need quality over quantity. Like you need to kind of step back and and to a point what you just said too, but story wise, you need to pick better stories and see what translate better to on screen, because it's like,
and that's the thing too. When you think about Loki, right? That was pretty fire, man. That was pretty good. Like something about, I think, the film, and I've said this for years, film and cinematic releases put a bigger pressure on the films that are coming out, in terms of, especially being the MCU, you're trying to capitalize on something that was there. So, of course, the Spider-Man never could be in a film by himself with this Tom Holland dude. He can never do a film by himself. It has to be some guest somewhere coming in. And you look at all three of them. The first one, Iron Man. The second one, Bird, and Birdman. But then the third one, of course, having everybody. There's no, like, I guess, intimacy with that character. Where, you know what I'm saying? Toby had that intimacy. They all did when they did part 3, because it was just like everybody and their mother had issues. Plus, this dude had issues. It was kind of creepy. So, you know what I mean? And of course, the Garfield one or whatever, like those were a little more intimate. You got to get back to that kind of deep storytelling, man, where it's just, and not deep in the sense of like, confuse me. This time I'm not watching Inception. I'm talking about like just deep root. And that's why PeaceMaker to me is fire, because it goes a little deeper in storytelling. And you got to go small screen mentality, man.
So what I meant about the story, it not being written properly, was the fact that the community had a really big issue with female-led shows, or female-led movies, which I didn't have any problem with it at all. What I had a problem with was I feel like they just didn't know how to write a story for these women. Kamala, Ms. Marvel, I think, was probably the best out of all of the storylines that they gave us, because she is a true fan in real life, playing a character who is a fan of the characters. They gave us exactly what you would typically see from a teenage girl who's a fan who happens to get these abilities, and analyzing herself and putting herself in the same level as these top tier heroes. I don't think that the Marvels should have been a movie. It should have been a series.
I agree.
I can agree with that.
I don't believe that Captain Marvel alone can carry a full storyline as a feature-length film. I really do hate the fact that they even gave us a Captain Marvel movie. It should have been a Nick Fury movie featuring Captain Marvel.
That's real.
I didn't appreciate the explanation of why he wears a patch. That was lazy and fucked up. And you spit in the face of all these fans of Nick Fury by saying he got scratched in the eye by an alien cat with possible doo-doo paws. I don't know. I just feel like it was lazy. I feel like it was stupid. I don't think that She-Hulk was bad. I don't think it got a chance to really be what it was supposed to be, because I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. I thought it was well fleshed out. I think people got in their feelings, and these overly masculine individuals got in their feelings because they saw her having sex on screen. It was like, well, what do you mean? She's strong and she's having sex with men. That's emasculating.
Read the comics. Are you crazy? Like,
well, yeah. Now they become family men. Like, what do you mean? But let them have a series where they actually show Tony Stark smashing half of the MCU. Gamora, She-Hulk, Storm. They've actually show those iterations that were in comic books and actual series. They'd be like, yo, he did that.
That's dope.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think it was bad that they actually I don't think we had a dry patch. I just think we had bad story choices for these characters. All these characters could have been really, really great. I think that Secret Wars should have took its time. We should have had at least 3 seasons of that to get to lead up to that point, and it would have gave them opportunity. Because give us some spy shit, give us some actual spy espionage shit in this universe, ground level. Give us the real Nick Fury that we've been waiting for. This was the opportunity for them to give us that Nick Fury. and they didn't. And it's so fucked up. They could have even went back. They could even gave us a younger version of Nick Fury going through the Secret Wars. Like the Secret Wars could have happened way before now. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have to be recent. It could have been a few years after Carol left and the Skrulls are on Earth. And now all these bad Skrulls. And now we got the Super Skrull and not give us a Super Skrull that's good. Like, give us an actual villainous Super Skrull. Give us that. Give us that lead up. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
The infiltration of Skrulls in certain areas. Okay, that's great. Rhodey being a possible Skrull. That's cool. But then, how are you furthering that story? Like, it didn't really give us anything that led to where we're going to at any point.
Yeah.
I guess Secret Wars.
Oh, Secret Invasion, you mean?
Yeah, Secret Invasion. Well, no, I mean, like, no, I think Secret Wars, I think, is going to be the part where we get to know, where we find out Rhodey is actually a Skrull or not, or whatever the case is. I know in the Secret Invasion series, we got all of that, but I don't know. Or am I back?
Yeah, Armor Wars is going to be his show. His movie's going to be Armor Wars.
It's going to be Armor Wars. Well, I mean, so we have. So what are the movies coming out? We got the Secret Wars movie coming out, right?
Yeah, so hold on. I was just looking at the MCU table. So the rest of this year, we have Captain America Brave New World. That's next in February. Thunderbolts in May of next year. So that's the end of phase 5 right there. But TV show wise, well, then movie wise, I'll go through the movies first. Then phase 6, Fantastic Four, First Steps. Blade, allegedly. Big time, allegedly. On that. Because they still ain't got no director, and that's supposed to be November 2025. And Fantastic Four has already started filming for theirs.
Well, Wesley said it best already, so.
And Avengers Doomsday is next, and then Avengers Secret Wars is the end out phase 6.
All right, so where are we going with these Skrulls at this point? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, you really leaned into this. Where are we going with these Skrulls? Are we just going?
So we got series wise, just to keep you series wise, we got Eyes on what I mean. Agatha All Along comes out in September.
Yeah.
Then we got Eyes of Wakanda ending out this year, and then beginning of next year, Daredevil Born Again, and then Ironheart.
Yeah, so
maybe Ironheart, we can get something in there with that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want let her kind of have her own thing, mate. I mean,
with the next Captain America movie, we're just now revisiting the dead Titan in the middle of the ocean. So, like, we literally breezed past that shit. Like, no one talked about it. It wasn't in a newspaper at all, except for it was mentioned briefly in She-Hulk and one of the news articles. In the newspaper, I'm sorry, but besides that, no one talked about it. So what are we talking about? Like, nobody has an issue with the Skrulls anymore. We good? Rhodey ain't got nothing to worry about. He's good. Is he still in the brain chamber thing and stasis, or is he out? Or we just go say like fuck it, like
he's out. They brought him out at the end of Secret Invasion. They brought him out.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they brought him out. All right, fellas. What do y'all think? Let's talk about Wolverine, Deadpool as we wrap up. Yeah. Let me go with you first, Jules. What are your thoughts on the film?
It's pretty good. Me and my wife was having a deep conversation about it, but it was really good. Like, I think, you know what I mean? I was going off of James, and I was hitting James up, too, on the slide, like, yo, I need to understand your comment, man, because you said out of all Marvel movie, MCU, he was like, yeah, that's his fave. So, but it was really good. It was really good. I think it was a good way to kind of, and I basically, I know they introduced, some of those 20th Century Fox properties already, but it was a really good transition to see how they did that. It was fun to watch it, man. I can't even front, man. It was really, really fun to see a lot of those characters back. Well, I don't want to spoil it for nobody, but, to see how they did that one. That was good, though. I'm not going to spoil it, but it was good. It was tight. I'm not going to front.
What about you, James?
Well, to So I'll go ahead and answer Jules' inquiry because I didn't get a chance to. We didn't get a chance. So we're gonna do it right here. So we're gonna do it right here.
You said easily too. You said
easily. Oh yeah, easily. No, I stand by that. Oh, I stand by that.
Hey, I ain't mad at you.
I stand by that. I ain't afraid to say it. I'll stand by that. That's my favorite Marvel movie to date, solely because it gave me exactly what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'll amend my comment. It's the best one since Endgame, hands down. But my personal favorite, yeah, it's probably my personal favorite. I mean, that's including Winter Soldier, because Winter Soldier is still like my top. To me, it's like right there with Winter Soldier. It's like neck and neck almost. Like, because
we'll say top five. We'll say top five.
Like,
that gives you a little leeway to,
yeah, it's my top five, but it's definitely like top two easily. It's top two. It's in my top two, like for real, because it's so good because. Like I said, it gave us. I mean, because you think like, oh man, Logan really was supposed to be the end of Wolverine, but then it was like, nope, this is really what it's that was the end of that Wolverine. Let's talk about what's going on now with a whole different Wolverine. And it was like, okay, and then it's just the way they played it, like you said, with the different Fox properties that showed up, which cameos galore all throughout the movie. And it's one particular cameo had me laughing so hard. Like it's someone who was supposed to play a certain X-Men character showed up in the movie and had me dying laughing the whole
Daryl, did you see it? You seen the film, right?
Yeah. I just saw it today with Teddy. Me and Teddy just went to see right before it. So we good.
Oh, that's good.
You can go.
Yeah, it was so funny, man, because it didn't, like I said, the way they just played up everything, the way it showed like how Cassandra Nova really, I was like, oh, okay, they did Cassandra Nova right, like, because Cassandra Nova really is that crazy, like for real. And so I was like, okay, I'm like, yeah, that's dope how the way they did that. So I like how they played that up. But yeah, it's a lot. And then like I said, they kept everything going with like how like the TVA was still involved with the whole scenario and how that went along. And I like I just like the fact that.
That was a good playoff, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
That was a really good playoff, the use of the TVA in, bringing it in.
Yeah, it was. I guess for me, I just was cohesive like the fact that it was well written, it was actually hilarious, it was action packed, like all the stuff that people kind of been missing, like what they kind of like, oh man, well, MCU stuff is funny, but it's actually we got a good, nice, cohesive, well fleshed out story. It was what I think a lot of people kind of wanted to see all this time.
Such a good balance right there.
Yeah, it was a perfect balance. There we go. It was a perfect balance of comedy, action, seriousness, especially when you get like that version of Wolverine's backstory and everything, and what Deadpool was really trying to go for, like this whole mission with the whole scenario. Like it really gave a perfect cohesive balance to everything. And so I think that's why I appreciate it more than anything else. But again, like Jules said, I don't want to spoil too much because it's a lot that happens. It's a lot of nuts stuff that happens, but I'll leave it like that.
I mean, but at the same time too, we kind of recording beyond release date, so it's it's kind of cool to talk about certain things too. I don't think you're spoiling it. Everybody spoils it all over the group chats with the post. I'll be like, nah, I just stayed off of there for a minute. I was like, I was surprised about everything. It felt really good to see, just to be surprised about a lot of those cameos, man. Like fire.
Yeah, for real, it was fire, man. I just love the fact that the cameos showed up actually was dope. Like I said, like my favorite one, hands down. And then when he was talking, I was like, why is it like this? Why is he talking like this? And why is it so accurate? I'm like, oh my God. But it was great, man, all the way around, man. And I just really like how Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds played off each other, like really awesome. Like it really was like kind of like a superhero buddy cop film with time travel, but it was like, oh, this is Wolverine and Deadpool, and Wolverine and Deadpool, like how you would for real see in the comics. And and then like even the different versions of Wolverine they showed throughout the movie, I was like, so I know that version. I was like, oh, that's dope. So yeah, it was dope the way they played it up.
Yeah.
All right, what you got on it, Stephen?
It was the greatest of all time.
Hey, yo.
You got the reverb.
No, man. I cannot express enough how much I love this film. It was definitely a film that was made by fans for fans.
Yeah.
I feel like if you knew nothing about the MCU at all, you can watch all 3 Deadpool movies and be satisfied within that one little universe. That's how they made the movie, and I really appreciated that. I appreciate the tie-ins to all the like the past Fox properties dealing with X-Men and even with Deadpool. Cameos were absolutely all on point. I was literally shoving my wife in the theater, like when I saw half of the camp, when I like the the scene after the Honda fight.
Oh
man,
like that scene, like as soon as I saw all of them walking in, I'm like, yo,
like,
chill, Steph, chill. But that movie again, the movie was made for and made by fans. Period.
Yeah.
There's no way you can go into that movie and not like something about it.
Yeah.
It was
You
definitely
keep it 100. No way you can't cry about some of that movie, man. That movie touched.
It was just so good. It was just so good. The callbacks, I got a lot of that Andrew Garfield No Way Home redemption vibe when he was sitting there talking to 23. It was I mean, I got nothing, man. Like the movie was absolutely awesome. And in true Deadpool fashion. And I think that character alone allows you to be as wacky and as fantastic as you want to be with your approach. It doesn't the movie didn't take itself seriously. At all. And I think that's what really made it good. It's what really, really, really made it good.
Yet the dramatic components was like so deep too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's I think there's a lot with the actors too that give you that real, that you just believe this actor, man. But man, that was a good one, Steph.
I mean, respect, man. We go be believing Hugh Jackman till 90.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Hey, so my thing was though that the characters that they all shown towards, I just think in general the movie was good for a good refresh of the MCU and not to take it so seriously. Like everything will have to be in-game feel, where it's the penultimate, the rest of the world depends on us to come through here and do this, like that. Like that moment again, like they was messing with even Chris Evans with the, you gonna do it, you gonna do it, and that's I'm not, but I'm just saying, like we're not trying to spoil it for anybody, but there's levels to it where you're like, okay, it's not taking this so serious,
Yeah.
So like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I love the fact that it didn't tie to anything moving forward. It was a standalone, and it can either end there or have the capability of moving forward. Either way, I'm satisfied.
It makes them give them a lot of wiggle room of like, that was cool for that, and then you can move around those pieces that ended the film any way you kind of want to.
Yeah.
I mean, if they never made another one, a Deadpool movie, and this is where it ended, I will be satisfied. I will be 100% satisfied.
But I will be sad if I don't get to see a backstory to why Deadpool was why Thor was crying. I need to know what's happening.
I need to know.
I gotta know.
Hey, you know what? Just it's not even meant to spoil it for nobody, man. You just can't help it. But that right there, I need answers.
Need answers.
That was a deep
all right.
one, man.
Let's wrap it on up, fellas. Where can people hit you up at Stefan?
Oh, so you can hit me up on Facebook, Stefan Mindset Mac, or Instagram, Digital Co-op LLC. All
right, Jules, where can people hit you up at and check out all your barbering skills and your travels?
That used to be Jules Unique at IG, Twitter, whatever, anything. Jules Unique is there.
All right, James, where can people hit you up at?
It's going to be JBJR official on all social media platforms. So make sure you check me out, man.
All right, make sure y'all go to Lando Cal Pod Experience on everything. It's all there. You can get it all there. We appreciate it, y'all.
Not a doubt. Peace.
Sir.
Peace.